You ready? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and this is baby Adeline. And today I'm going to talk to you about my breastfeeding experience and just some of the products that I loved when I was first starting breastfeeding. Adeline is now 8 months old and we are still breastfeeding successfully, and so I just kind of wanted to share my experience. Before we get started, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and to like this video. Yeah, say it. Let them hear it. I am really passionate about doing this. I really enjoy doing this, and I would really appreciate your support by liking and subscribing. Yeah, tell them. Tell them to do it. All right, I also want to say, obviously I'm a small YouTube channel right now, and so I don't feel like I need to give this disclaimer, but I'll go ahead and say that none of the products in this video that I'm going to talk about are sponsored. Is that the ice machine? I genuinely use these products. I genuinely liked these products that I use. Otherwise, I would tell you that I didn't. I also want to say that I genuinely believe that fed is best. I know I even have some friends that breastfeeding was not a good fit for them. Therefore, how can it be a good fit for your baby? If you're stressed out and it's difficult and it's a struggle, it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for either of you. I've been blessed to have overall a great breastfeeding experience, but like I said, I truly do believe that fed is best, whether that be formula, pumped breast milk, whatever. Yeah. Huh. You like boobies, huh? I also want to say that I did not take a breastfeeding class prior to giving birth. I didn't even take a birthing class. I didn't take any classes actually prior to giving birth. And it's not to say that those classes can't be useful, but I felt that like ignorance was kind of bliss in this situation, so I didn't go into it with any preconceived notions or feelings like I had to do, you know, that magic 1 year that everyone talks about. And what if I wasn't able to, you know? So I didn't want to have any expectations set upon myself, so I didn't take any classes before. So let's just talk about in the hospital when she first was born. You know, obviously we did skin-to-skin contact right away, and pretty soon the nurse was like, okay, let's go ahead and try breastfeeding. Yeah. So we went ahead and tried, and she actually kind of struggled to latch on, and in fact she gave me a hickey like off on the side of my breast because she wasn't getting onto the nipple. Sexy. And that is when the nurse introduced me to the Medela contact nipple shield. And I'll be honest, I really wish this would have never happened. This is what it comes in, and this is what it looks like, and I'm sorry if it looks dirty, but it's because I wash it all the time, and I think it just has like water stains on it. So yeah, you just place this over, and it definitely helped, like don't get me wrong, and my baby got enough milk. She was able to latch, but I feel like had she not been introduced to that, she would have learned anyway. She would have had to, you know what I mean? So I really wish we would not have done the nipple shield. It became a huge pain. I'll talk about that later in this video when I kind of talk about the newborn phase of breastfeeding. So I had multiple nurses and multiple lactation specialists come and visit me in the hospital. It was definitely super helpful, and every single one of them kind of had a different take on feeding. We did the football hold, which, I mean, she's a big lady now, but this is kind of how we did it. And I thought this was like the greatest thing ever. Turns out for me, it wasn't. I enjoyed it at the time, but I didn't realize just how much easier that like cross-body position was. That's my hair. That's my hair. So obviously at the hospital, it's just your colostrum. You don't have a lot of milk coming in yet. You're just trying to get through those first couple days of breastfeeding and the war zone that is. So once we took her home, I was faced with a new problem. And I know it might not sound like a problem, but it certainly posed its challenges for me, and I was faced with an oversupply problem. Now, I am very thankful that I had this problem because I know that there are women out there that struggle to even produce milk in the first place. So I understand that it was a good problem, but like I said, it came with its own set of challenges. In the beginning, she additionally struggled to latch because I was so engorged, like huge. Like, your girl did not need a boob job. I don't have one now, but I'm just saying I certainly didn't need one because I was so big and she could not latch onto my nipple. When we took her to her first pediatrician appointment, my pediatrician was like,
"Oh my God, like, are you okay?"
And she legitimately popped my boob like a zit. It was sexy. Because I had this oversupply problem, I also had a really heavy letdown. I was spraying homegirl in the face. It was all National Geographic. Because I had this oversupply problem, I leaked a ton. And honestly, this was inconvenient, but certainly a great inconvenience to have because I was able to store all of that leakage and build up my milk supply in the freezer. Now, some things I use to help with the leakage. First, I use these Medela soft shell breast shells, and these are really actually made more for like pain, which I will talk about the pain I experienced. And I think that's originally why I got them, but then it would fill up with the leakage when I would nurse from one or the other breast, and then I would just take that and put it in a bottle and store it. But because it comes with all these holes, it was really inconvenient, and like sometimes I'd have it upside down and then I would just leak all over myself anyway. So switched from these to a different set, the Milky's breast shells, and I actually don't have them because I gave them to a good friend that had a baby pretty soon after me, and she was starting her breastfeeding experience. But those came with just one hole on the top, and they were specifically made to catch your leakage so that you could store it. I also would use the Haakaa, and sorry, this looks disgusting because it's really just water, I promise. But I would use the Haakaa on the other breast that I wasn't nursing on the time and catch the leakage out of that. The only thing I will say about the Haakaa, and maybe this is like just me being stupid and not thinking about it, but I was like, okay, like I want to make sure I'm catching that leakage, so I'm going to use the Haakaa. Well, this is a manual breast pump. You have to like squeeze it and then it suctions onto your breast, so it's literally pulling milk out of your breast. So really it was not helping my oversupply problem. This was making it worse because with your oversupply, it just grows exponentially. The more you nurse, the more you make. The more you pump, the more you make. The more you like pull milk out of your breast using the Haakaa, the more you make. So I definitely stopped using this because this was making my problem worse. I told my pediatrician about this and she was like,
"What are you doing?"
Also, I used these Kindred Bravely washable organic nursing pads. I know that Medela makes like one-time use ones, but these were just easier for me. They came in a pack and I could just toss them in the wash. Yeah, you can play with those. I'm a good mom. The only thing that I wish I would have gotten earlier that I actually got later in the game was the Milky's freeze organizer. It has you lay your breast milk bags flat and then it like stores it in there. I'll post a picture of it, but definitely liked that, and it's nice and compact in my freezer, and it has you use the oldest one first, so definitely recommend that. So I definitely experienced pain, and I think everyone does. You just kind of have to get used to it because someone's like literally just gnawing on your nipples 24/7. So naturally you're super, super tender. I swore like if someone looked at my nipples or breathed on them, they were going to fall off and I was going to die. I had a bracelet that I wore all the time, and I would like accidentally brush them in the shower and it would like bring me to my knees. So one thing that I love to use were the Medela soothing gel pads. Again, I don't have those with me. I gave all the spare ones that I had to my friend, but they definitely help. They're just like a square gel sheet that you can reuse a few times, and it's nice and cooling, and that definitely helped. At one point, my pain was so bad that I went on an Amazon shopping spree to buy literally anything that would help. I bought the Laniso, their TheraPearl therapy packs. You could use them hot or cold. I used them cold, and they were okay. I didn't really use them that much, but they were nice to have on hand. You just stick them down in your bra. They were okay. Okay, sorry, I needed to put her down for a nap. So some other things that helped me with pain, I definitely recommend the Medela Tender Care Lanolin. or any lanolin for that matter. You don't have to wipe it off before you breastfeed, and it definitely helps with cracking and bleeding, which I did experience. All the sexiness. Again, if you watched my last video or my video about pregnancy, I'm here to tell you that again, just think about how sexy your life is as a non-pregnant woman and then multiply it by literally 1,000,000, because it's gonna get so sexy. The other thing I got for pain was this Lavier massager to like encourage milk flow. I don't think this worked. It didn't work for me, so I can't really recommend this. But again, I went on an Amazon bender where I was like buying anything under the sun that was going to help me because I was so miserable, because I was so full. Picture like Dolly Parton. I'm sure my husband was thrilled. I was not. So once we got past the pain of everything and it was time to just start, getting into the regular normalcy of breastfeeding, I still had the issue of the nipple shield, and I was then faced with having to wean her off of the nipple shield. It was such a pain in the butt, particularly public breastfeeding. I had to like get that, like get it on there, and it was just one more thing that you're like already dealing with because you've got the burp cloth and the baby and the cover and like all this stuff, and I just couldn't wait to be done with it. Once we started weaning, I honestly felt like I was never going to get her off of the nipple shield. She like refused to eat without it, and that was definitely the most stressful part of my breastfeeding experience. And we just kind of went for it. I would just always start the feeding without the nipple shield and then eventually have to add it back on. But sometimes she'd do like a full 5 minutes, which was like a lifetime on, one side without the nipple shield. Eventually I got her totally weaned off of one side, but not the other, and I don't know why that was. And then finally it did happen. In that time, it felt like an eternity, but looking back, it probably was only like 2 to 4 weeks that we really had to wean her off of that nipple shield. So definitely thankful that that's gone now, because on top of it, you had to like clean it every single time. And then I literally ordered 5 so I could like rotate them. So nursing after the newborn phase, like I said, we are in month 8 of nursing, and I feel like I definitely have the hang of it now, but I want to talk about some of the other products that I use. So I definitely recommend getting nursing tanks. Now, I got nursing bras in the beginning, and they're just that kind that clasp like this. I got them on Amazon because I buy everything on Amazon. But I got these tanks, and they came in a pack of 3. They were like black, white, and gray. And I definitely recommend these, particularly because of nursing in public, because I felt kind of uncomfortable lifting up my shirt and then having like my midsection exposed, which was what would happen if I just wore the nursing bra. So I definitely like the tank, so I had that added coverage. So once you do finally venture out of the house with your newborn, you will find yourself breastfeeding in public a lot. So some of the things that I definitely recommend, I really liked the copper pearl multi-use cover. You can also use it as a car seat cover, but I liked this. Eventually, once I got the hang of things, I didn't use this as much. I would just honestly just put my shirt over her head and that would be fine. I also got a Boppy Infinity nursing cover that had a little screen, and I did like that when she was not as comfortable with latching, so I could see versus her just being under there in the dark and me not knowing what was going on. Also, I cannot recommend enough copper pearl burp cloths. They are, first of all, they're so cute and adorable. But what I liked about them over other burp cloths that we kind of got the like waffle knit kind, and we definitely took all the ones that they had at the hospital that were anywhere near our room. But these are just really thick and plush, and they clean nicely. I really liked these. Again, went on an Amazon bender and bought a ton of them. Eventually my oversupply stopped and I regulated down to a normal amount of milk, but I will say at the time I really thought I was like losing my supply, which really freaked me out. and I got like lactation cookies, and I was like pumping extra just because I was so nervous I wasn't feeling as full anymore, and I thought for sure like my breastfeeding experience was coming to an end. My mother didn't get to feed for very long, so I was like,
This is it, it's over.
but turns out it was just my body regulating the milk supply. I don't pump very often. Honestly, the only times that I've really ever needed to pump are when I'm at cheer competitions with my girls, and I don't have a baby with me, but I do have the Medela Freestyle. Obviously, this is just like the pump and tube section of it. It comes with all the fun. Get ready to feel like a dairy cow. It's just awesome. I like this because I can clip it, and it's little, like this has worked for me. I know my friend really doesn't like this, but she has like the one with the handle and stuff. But this has not caused any issues for me. It was covered by our insurance. We just purchased it up front on Amazon, and then they reimbursed us on the back end. The other thing I take while I breastfeed, so I've been taking it for 8 months now, is this Theranatal Lactation Complete. This is these are 3 pills you take a day. Now, maybe you don't like taking pills, but I already take 26 pills a day because of my kidney disease, so for me it wasn't that bad. But it comes in a little pack. My pediatrician recommended this. I will say that is not covered by my insurance. I have to buy it off of Amazon. It's like $75, and I think this is like a 13-week supply. Like I said, I'm already used to taking a lot of pills, so to add this in was not a big deal, and it just kind of gives me peace of mind knowing that my baby is getting all, just like I take a multivitamin, that's like my baby's multivitamin that she's getting through my breast milk. So overall, like I said, my breastfeeding experience has been really great, and I'm very thankful for that. We started baby-led feeding or baby-led weaning at 6 months, which I'll talk about in another video. And that experience has been great. My plan is to breastfeed for a year and then wean her off around that time. I never pictured myself as one of those mothers that is breastfeeding after a year, and I do look forward to kind of having my freedom back. So that's about it. So far, so good with everything breastfeeding. I hope that, you know, the products I shared and kind of my experience will help you if you're a new time mom, or if you're thinking about breastfeeding and you're pregnant, or if you're just thinking about getting pregnant and wanting to do research. I hope I can help you in any way. So that being said, I hope that you do subscribe to my channel and you do like it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, you know, I just relaunched my channel because I got laid off from my job thanks to COVID. And this is always something I've liked to do anyway. So now I certainly have the free time to do it, and I'm honestly really enjoying doing it. And you can help support me doing what I genuinely love to do by just hitting the subscribe button and hitting the like button. Like, that's all you have to do. I also hope that you follow me on Instagram. My handle is at Emily_Catherine_DJ, and I post all the cute pics of baby Adeline and all of her funny TikToks, so I hope you follow me on there. And finally, if you have any questions at all, I hope you will ask them in the comments below, or even if you just related to anything. I really do like to take the time to respond to every person that sends me a comment, and I hope you will. I've already had some amazing comments, and I really appreciate the encouragement. It's definitely making what I'm doing easier since I'm literally just talking to a camera right now. So thank you guys so much for watching my video, especially if you made it this far, and I will see you next time.